Hey everybody, Weston here with the Hidden Gibbon, back with another deck tech video, and today is another viewer request. This time is Mr. Orfeo, and I had not played a whole lot of New Capenna, so I had never heard of this commander. But without further ado, let's get straight into it. Here's Mr. Orfeo, the Boulder. He's a 2/4 for 1 generic and Jund, and whenever you attack, double target creature's power until end of turn. Very simple. Very straightforward, and we made a budget build here of under $200, comes in at $190.19, and so obviously what we're going to try to do here is use Mr. Orfeo himself with his, I think that's a shovel, going to beat people to death with his shovel, and then try to get some other creatures to beat people to death. So how are we going to do this? Well, we've got a whole bunch of creatures here to help us with it. First and foremost, we got Ansrag, the Quake Mole. You know him, you love him, he's a giant mole god. We need more mole gods in Magic. Whenever Ansrag, the Quake Mole, becomes blocked, untap each creature you control. After this combat phase, there's an additional combat phase, and then you can pay 3 double red, double green, and Ansrag must be blocked each combat this turn if able. We got a Mana Dork here in Birds of Paradise, and if you weren't able to see, we also have Land of War Elves and Ignorable Hierarch. We have Disciple of Bolas, which is when this creature enters, sacrifice another creature. You gain life and draw cards equal to X, where X is that creature's power. So we're going to have big dumb creatures, right? Those big dumb creatures you can sacrifice to Disciple of Bolas to draw a whole bunch of cards. This card used to see a lot more play in EDH. It's kind of fallen off a little bit, but it's still really good for those big dumb decks. We have Freelance Muscle. He's in here with his Thompson submachine gun in Magic. I love, this is a side tangent, I love when people say that, you know, things like Avatar or Final Fantasy are not Magic-y, but we literally have got a Space Thompson here. Anyway, Freelance Muscle, he's a 4/4 for 4 generic and 1 green, and whenever Freelance Muscle attacks or blocks, it gets +X until end of turn, where X is the greatest power and toughness among other creatures you control. So he's a generic beater, right? He's a 4/4 for 5, not a super high value, but we are a more budget deck here, and when you're running some other big dumb creatures, he's going to be big. Unfortunately, he does trip over elves, so, you know, take him with a grain of salt. He's a support creature rather than the big stomper himself. Then we got Gulta here. Gulta's big. Gulta is fun. Gulta is a 12/12 for 12 that costs X less, where X is the total power of creatures you control. And since we have a bunch of big dumb things in here, you're going to be able to play Gulta for a whole lot cheaper. She's also got Trample, and she comes in at $1.29, right? Cheap good card. I have Gulta in my Azusa deck, so even at higher tier decks, Gulta can do fun things. We got Goblin Anarchomancer, which essentially counts as a Mana Dork, right? Each spell you cast that's red or green costs 1 less. We got Honest oh my god, I'm not going to say this right. Rutstein? Yeah, Honest Rutstein. 3/2 for 1 generic and Golgari. And whenever Honest Rutstein enters the battlefield, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand, and then creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Yeah, I know it's goofy sometimes how I mess up on some of these cards' names when I've been playing for over 20 years. But the thing is a lot of times I just read the card, and, like, my mind can tell me what it might be, but I don't say it out loud, right? Then we got Jumbo Cactuar, or Cactuar, whatever they're called in Final Fantasy. He's a 1/7 for 7 that gets +9,999. When he attacks, he also trips over elves. Then we got Kresh the Bloodbraided, Mitch's commander here. Whenever another creature dies, you may put X/1/1 counters on Kresh the Bloodbraided, where X is that creature's power. Then we have Malignus, which is a star for 3 generic and 2 red. And Malignus power and toughness are each equal to half the highest life total among your opponents, rounded up. Damage that would be dealt by Malignus can't be prevented. This card also used to see a lot more play in EDH than it does currently. We have Railway Brawler. This card does pop up a lot. Reach, Trample. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, put X/1/1 counters on it, where X is its power. So it makes big things bigger. We got Steve in here to get us some land. We got the Earth King. You know, he's new. He's got Bosco the Bear, and when he enters, you create a 4/4 green bear creature token. You create Bosco. And whenever one or more creatures you control with power 4 or greater attack, search your library for that many basic land cards and put them onto the battlefield. Since we're playing big, stupid, like dumb, stompy creatures, right? We're gonna be fetching some lands off it. We got the Gitrog Ravenous Ride. He has Trample, Haste, Saddle 1, and whenever he deals combat damage to a player, you may sacrifice a creature that saddled it this turn. If you do, draw X cards and put up to X land cards from your hand onto the battlefield, where X is the sacrifice creature's power. We do have Tuya Bearclaw in here. It's a 2/2 for 3, and when it attacks, it gets +X/+X, where X is the greatest power among other creatures you control, which is essentially the freelance muscle, just cheaper. We have Xenagos, God of Revels, indestructible as long as your devotion to red and green, and it's less than 7, it's not a creature. And at the beginning of combat on your turn, another target creature gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is that creature's power. Then we got Yargle and Multani. He's an 18/6. He's 3 generic, he's 2 black, and he's a green. He's got no abilities. This is Magic at its finest right here. Great design. Just I don't mean that sarcastically. This is everything good about Magic the Gathering right here. 18/6 for 6. And then we got Yargle by himself. Yargle, Glutton of the Urborg. He's a 9/3 for 5 with no abilities. Again, Magic at its finest for design. We have Zeatora, the Incinerator, a 6/6 for 3 generic, and then Jund, flying at the beginning of your end step. You may sacrifice another creature. When you do, Zeatora, the Incinerator, deals damage equal to that creature's power to any target, and you create 3 treasure tokens. So if you sacrifice your Yargle and Multani, you get to do 18 damage. Then we have Zalortha, Strength Incarnate. See, this kind of reminds me of Godzilla. He has Trample, he's a 7/3/3, and some Gruul. Lethal damage to creatures you control is determined by their power rather than their toughness. And then we have Zapandrel. Beginning of each combat, double the power and toughness of each creature you control until end of turn. So, you know, kind of like the effect that we have here for Mr. Orfeo, but it's doubling all of this stuff here. Why did I... What? Alright. 1 second, friends. Oh, I remember what happened. I tried to add exponential growth into the deck, but the deck was being... when I was searching it and typing it in, it kept saying Scryfall was having a problem. So, you know, we'll get to add some cards in real time into this deck. So we have Blasphemous Act, Chandra's Ignition, Cultivate, Essence Harvest, Exponential Growth, which, you know, that doubles creatures' power X times. Rishgar's Expertise. Essence Harvest, target player loses X life, you gain X life, where it's the greatest power among creatures you control. And then we have our ramp spells. I know one card we're going to throw in here right now. We're going to throw Rancor in here. There we go. For our instance, you're going to see a lot of removal in here in Assassin's Trophy, Beast Within, Putrefy, Terminate is in here, right? In a way, the last Agni Kai is. But then we also have Bulk Up, doubles a creature's power. We have Chaos Warp to also get rid of something. We have Hunter's Insight. It deals damage. When a creature deals damage, you draw cards. We have Kazul's Fury. You sack a creature, and then it deals damage equal to the sacrifice creature's power to any target. Momentous Falls in here. Ram Through to deal some damage. Soul's Fire. I used to play this card a lot back in the day. Man. I love and miss, like, Alara. Then we have Return of the Wild Speaker. Tainted Strike, Teamer Battle Rage, and Unleash Fury. What's Berserk sitting at these days? Can we get Berserk in here? 16. That's not bad. So we'll throw a Berserk in here as well, which is, target creature gains Trample and gets +X/+0, where X is the power. At the beginning of the next end step, destroy that creature if it attacked this turn. Unleash Fury doubles power and toughness. Artifacts. We got Loxodon Warhammer, we got Mage Slayer, we got Mask of Gristlebrand, and we have Whip of Erebos. And then, we're going to throw a... I was going to throw a Shadow Spear in here, but Shadow Spear is like $45. So we're going to throw Basilisk Collar instead. And then for our enchantments, we have Bitter Work. We have Rhythm of the Wild, so that way non-token creatures have Riot, can't be countered. Bitter Work, by the way, you can exhaust Earthbend 4, but more importantly, when you attack a player with one or more creatures with power 4 or greater, you get to draw a card. Garruk's Uprising lets you draw a card for having a creature power 4 or greater. Creatures have trample, and whenever a creature you control with power 4 or greater enters, you draw a card. Then we have Pain for All, which is when this aura enters, enchanted creature deals damage equal to its power to any other target. And then whenever the enchanted creature is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to each opponent. We have Rancor, which you saw me just add, +2/+0 trample, because a lot of our dudes trip over elves. And then we have Unnatural Growth at the beginning of each combat, double the power and toughness of each creature you control. Yes, it is quad green, but I think we can do it. And then for our lands, we've got like Command Tower, Dragon Skull Summit, right? We are running 7, 7, and 7 for our basics, so 21 basics in this deck. We have our Rogue's Passage. I am running Susur, Secundi Void Altar, which lets you, because we have giant creatures, right? Tap Yargle and Multani once, and it's online, and then you can pay to sacrifice a creature, draw cards equal to the sacrificed creature's power. Of course, sadly, you can only activate it as a sorcery. We do have Twisted Landscape, Terramorphic Expanse. We have a couple of the cheap fetches in here as well. Well, let me know what you think of this viewer request. As always, if you want to see a commander made, drop it in the comments down below. I'll get it made up for you. Just one disclaimer is I will be out of town, out of state at my in-laws for the holidays. So it'll be after Christmas, probably into January when I get these up, because I'm trying to get as many videos done and recorded before I have to be out on the road as possible, so I don't have to worry that week. But as always, I am Weston with the Hidden Gibbon, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.